Welcome to this video. This video is to celebrate Leica's 100th anniversary, which is right now, February 2025. Leica was founded, or the first Leica was created and made public at Photokina in 1925. So this is 2025, 100 years right now in February. Also today, the 13th of February, is the 45th year, day for day, that I purchased my first Leica. So, happy birthday, Leica, 100 years. Happy birthday to me, 45 years, specifically now, having my first Leica, my first of many Leica. Question is, after 45 years, what's in my bag? So, February 13th, 1980, my first Leica. Saved all my money. As you might have guessed, I was pretty young. I was 15 years old. Purchased my first body with all the money I could stack up. At that time was a lot of money. It was $350 for a well-worn 1954 M3. And so expensive was it. My choice for the same price. I could have had a Minolta XG or AE1 with all the programs and technology and a bunch of lenses and a tripod and a carry case for the same price. And I still chose to get a 1954 M3 all beaten up, no lenses included. It was all my money, no money left to buy film. And I carried it around with a piece of rope around my neck. Very proud I was. No lenses. Purchased the first film, made pinhole photography with an M3. That was my first M3. The picture on the left is me, 45 years ago, day for day, with my first M3. Unfortunately, I don't have that M3 anymore. That wanted so many. I would have had, let's say, 17 Leicas in my life, and only 4 are remaining, including a new one, but that'll be at the end of the video. So, what do you do after you purchase an M3? You beat it up, you buy a lens, dual range Summicron, which is one of the best rated lenses in the world today in the history of photography. At the time, it was the least favorable lens you could buy. It was a dual range with the goggle. It was awful. I didn't like it. I was almost ashamed of it, but I could afford it, and I ended up buying it 5 months later, again with all my savings. That one being gone, let's say that I evolved. Everybody would have guessed, everybody knows that you go for M2 after an M3 for all the reasons that everybody knows. Here's my M2. No doubt the best Leica ever made. A real gem. I chose not to put a Leica Summicron, and I went for a Canon. Why a Canon? Why this lens? Why a Leica? Because Leica has no signature. It's a bare camera. It doesn't have a style. If you make a picture with a Leica, you can't say it's a Leica like you could say with a Zeiss or a Contax, because they are, let's say, perfect cameras that allow you to make perfect pictures. And I don't want a perfect picture. I want a picture that reflects what I feel when I frame it and when I open the shutter. Perfect cameras, perfect pictures. It's not the intention of Leica, and these rangefinders are meant to be unsuspected, withdrawn from the scene, non-intrusive, quiet. That's what you want to use a Leica for. M2, we go along, the years go by. Funny thing, I'm Canadian, and then I come across this little gem, the M4P, which is the overproduction from Leica Germany. I always thought, contrary to everybody else, that the Canadian series are better built. Nobody agrees. I'll have a bunch of comments at the bottom that say you're wrong and this and that, and they save money. It was a cheaper version with cheaper pieces and parts and all that. All that is not true. Leica remains Leica. The M4P, professional. It has all the advantages, and it's a precursor of the M6, which is still considered the best camera Leica ever made. between brackets. You'll see at the end of the video, I don't agree with that, but whatever. So the M4P has all the advantages, including this first generation, which is a brass top. The brass top is in the tradition of the M3, the M2, and eventually first production M4, which are nickel plated. This one is black matte, has a nice patina finish that it acquired along the years. And another advantage that all the other Leicas don't have, including the M6, is the recessed window. Most people know that. Those who don't, you don't have to know it if you're not inquiring about it. But the recessed window is a brass version, is the first generation M4P, and it makes it so that, you know, again, the patina is exquisite if you like that kind of stuff, and the window is recessed. So you don't always have your fingerprints in the window having to clean it all the time. They never corrected that in the M6. Why? Why not? Who knows? I don't work for Leica. I work with the Leica. M4P, you have noticed it's not a Leica lens. Once again, it's the Voigtlander. It's the classic Voigtlander in the classic style. This is a brass lens with an exquisite mechanism. I think it surpasses Leica. You know, it has the technology that Leica had, let's say, 50 years ago. Time have evolved. You know, if you can use a lens that is as exquisite, nicely built, perfectly built at 1/10 of the price, why not? It has no signature. That's what you want. That's what I want. What's in my bag? Obviously, MD. Why the MD? Most people don't know it. It's a scientific camera, but most people who use it for that single purpose. Extra wide angle with a extra wide viewfinder. This one is a Zeiss 15mm. Perfect viewfinder. Even Leica never made something so good. Voigtlander, 15mm. Nobody does a 15mm, even Zeiss. With the super angulons and the 21s and sometimes the 16s, they're $5,000 or $6,000 a piece. Nothing surpasses this Voigtlander. It's a personal opinion. You know, you do what you want with it. I do what I want with it. I'm only showing you what's in my bag after 45 years. I can choose whatever I want. This is my choice. I suggest it. We go along. Okay, at the end of the bag, why do you end up? Where do you end up after all these choices, changing lenses, changing bodies and all that? For me, what's in my bag is the conclusion. Of course, an MP. Why nickel plated? Because nickel plated is brass body. Brass body is all about Leica. Aluminum is lighter, it's easier to ding. Sometimes it bubbles up. You can have all the arguments you want. It doesn't matter. If you like the silver one, good thing. If you prefer the brass because it wears off and has a nice patina, it's another thing. Like everybody else, I love the black ones because I love the way it wears. It shows how intensive I use the camera. Do I need to show it since I want an invisible camera? It's always this dilemma. I came to that conclusion after 45 years that this silver brass base molded original MP with a nickel finish will not wear off. It will remain as pristine as the day I bought it. This is the 2010 production, and after rigorous investigating, I ended up buying the Summicron brass nickel matching plating to go with the camera. This lens specifically, call me snob if you want, or meticulous I would prefer, integrated lens hood. I hate the square backs. Everybody hates the square backs. The smallest production lens almost in the history of Leica. Even the 8 elements was produced in the higher production in the 50s. 150 parts, 150 pieces made in 2000. This is the 2000 edition. I love it. It goes with what I want, with what I wish, with what I dream of. There it is for me, perfect setup. So that's it. One more thing, what's in my bag? Obviously, to match my MP nickel plated, the exquisite large or fat barrel Tele Elmarit 90 millimeter. Perfect camera if you want to have a closer crop. This again, everybody would love the black one. I would love the black one. I would like to see it wear, but not at this point anymore. I don't need to show off how much I use it. I want to work in the shade. I want to work where everybody knows, who does not know that I'm there. It's an intimate relationship. I need to be completely invisible with the environment in which I'm shooting. Long quest. I found one absolutely mint somewhere in Japan, like most rare Leica parts. And last but not least, another choice. I go with Zeiss for the 28 millimeter. Again, matching brass body, nickel plating. I think the Zeiss is superior to the Leica for different reasons. First of all, it doesn't have the tab. I hate the tab. Personal question, personal preferences. And the Leica is too perfect. It corrects everything. It's an spherical lens, and I mean, where you're supposed to have distortion, Leica is too perfect. Sorry. If you can deal with perfection, it's fine by me. The Zeiss is an immaculate lens. It's not as spherical, and where it crops, where it changes, you know, the perspective, because it's a wide angle. It's supposed to be. Yeah, it's like the human eye. The human eye is not perfect, and I want the camera to react like a human eye. I'm in control of the camera. So, again, happy birthday, Leica. 100 years right now. Happy birthday to me. It's probably the last Leica I'll ever buy in my life. I said that 17 times, but I'm becoming an old fart, like the dudes would say. You know, so that's what's in my bag. Catch you later.